just off the shores of ice-cold Lake Michigan, the beautiful second city of Chicago. Tonight, from the world-famous Aragon Ballroom in Chi-Town, the perfect venue for Season 3's Midwest Region Final, Illinois and Indiana, the Elite Amateur Fight League. What's up again, fight fans? Jim Grieshopper along with UFC bantamweight star Frankie Saenz. And Frankie, as we continue along with Season 3 of the EAFL, no better place than the Aragon Ballroom for the Midwestern battle and the final between Illinois and Indiana. One thing's for sure, when we come to this part of the country, we know lunch pails, rolling up your sleeves, blue collar, get to work, and that's exactly what we'll see from the fighters who are a perfect reflection of the people of this region.
And one thing I think of, Jim, when I think of the Midwest, is I think of toughness. You know, and I think this rivalry will produce fireworks tonight.
Absolutely. Illinois and Indiana. Let's start with the visiting team of Indiana. They were in the finals 2 years ago against Southern California. One thing about that team, even though the faces have changed tonight, you're going to have guys go in there and try to grind people. They don't just want to beat you, as you know from fighting Indiana native Eddie Wineland. They want to beat you up as well.
You know, and I think I see that fire in these Indiana fighters tonight.
Meanwhile, for Illinois, at home, a little bit more flashy in the city of Chicago, home to fighters like Curtis Blades, like Clay Guida, to name a few. There's a lot of really good fighting in Chi-Town, in Illinois, and you know as well as anybody, fighting in their own backyard at home tonight, they have a point to prove. The Midwest Region Final, Illinois hosting Indiana, the Elite Amateur Fight League. Your first fight is next. Jim Grieshopper, Frankie Saenz back with you at the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, Illinois. Famous venue, Frankie. Winter in the Windy City. Indiana and Illinois, the Immortals, coming to town to challenge the Inferno for the Midwest Region Championship here tonight. Our first fight in just a moment. Michael Parker and Christian Jones going to get it going for us here at the Aragon.
We're in for an exciting night, Jim. You know, both rosters are stacked. You know, we saw both guys, you know, both opponents last night. Both of them fired up. Both of them were ready to represent their state.
All right, featherweights are first. Michael Parker, the problem solver, going to get it started for Illinois against Christian Jones for Indiana. Let's get it going for the night. Send it up to the cage to our ring announcer, Miguel Flores.
Introducing first out of the U.S. Army red corner, please welcome Michael Problem Solver Parker.
Michael Parker with a record of 9-3, taking on Christian King Jones at 6-2. Michael Parker fighting out of Core Combat Sports for Coach Tommy Woodruff. Grew up in Rockford, Illinois, born in Chicago. Has also been in Harvard, Illinois, a Chicago guy through and through. Modeled his style after the Dominator, Dominic Cruz, and his footwork. He's got that Conor McGregor mentality, though, the thinking game, wants to be the smart man's fighter. He's got a daughter named Ariana who's 4 years old. Got into MMA with his best friend Jordan a few years back, and it stuck with him. He has been fantastic. Was out for a year and a half because he couldn't get fights. Nobody would fight him. Just an outstanding fighter is Michael Parker, the problem solver.
Yeah, just a little bit of wrestling background, you know, trains over at NICC, Team Curran. And right now he's excited, dude. I love that. The excitement about getting in the cage. You know, this is the fun part.
And his opponent out of the misprint blue corner, please welcome Christian King Jones.
A southpaw fighting out of Circle City Martial Arts in McCordsville, Indiana. His head coach, Jay Watkins, is the father of his best friend, Josh Watkins. That's how he got into it. Jay, a military veteran, wanted us to know he's retired Army. We have the U.S. Army here sponsoring tonight. A wrestling base for Christian Jones. 5 years
He reached the state semis in high school. He's been fighting Frankie for 3.5 years. Very athletic, very agile, loves to work the angles, and transition from striking to wrestling and wrestling to striking.
Yeah, Jim, he's the #1 ranked featherweight in Indiana right now. You know, he's on a 4-fight win streak. You know, I think he's going to do some big things.
Very heavy hitter. Has a 14-second KO on his record with a body shot. So we know that Michael Parker better be ready to throw down and strike with him tonight.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup.
We are set for our first bout in the featherweight division. Introducing first in the U.S. Army red corner. He weighs 146 pounds with 9 victories opposite of 3 losses. Fighting out of Core Combat Sports, representing Team Illinois Inferno, please welcome Michael Problem Solver Parker. Across the ring in the misprint blue corner. He weighs 146 pounds with 6 victories opposite of 2 losses. Representing Circle City and Indiana Immortals, please welcome Christian King Jones. Your referee in charge of the action is Nick Sim.
Nick Sim, our referee for this matchup. First one in the EAFL tonight. Remember, our scoring system, TKOs and knockouts earn you the most points, followed by unanimous decisions, and then split decisions. You get no points for a loss. The team with the most points wins team versus team, state versus state, and a big knee starting out early for Parker out of the red corner in the red trunks for Illinois. Indiana's Christian King Jones in the blue, gold, and white. Jim Grieshaber and Frankie signs a big left hook, followed up by a right from Christian Jones, and in trouble early is Problem Solver Parker. Right down he goes, and Christian Jones on the attack.
Christian Jones, what coach is saying is he's a heavy hitter. You know, and right there, Michael Parker just walked into that left hand, walked right center line, and you can see it stunned him, put him down, and Christian finished up with that takedown.
Bad spot for Parker against Christian Jones. Started training back in high school, got real serious. His transitions, and we saw them there from striking, taking this fight to the ground very quickly in the face of Michael Parker. Landed a big left hook to set all this up. Came in with a right hand to follow, and now in top position, trying to hang on from underneath is Parker and keep Jones pinned against him to stop him from posturing up for those strikes.
And this is nice control on top by Jones. You know, he's got that head pressure on you, you know, so he's pressing into you while your body's on the mat. He's in half guard here. He's across your body. So there's really nowhere for Michael Parker to go. What Michael Parker has to do is he has to get an underhook. His left arm has to go underhook the other side and create some space over there with Jones. That way he can get back up to his feet. Right now he's overhooked, and Christian has that good position on top with that underhook. And right now, Michael Parker's just in a bad spot.
Just pushing down. That face is now coming down with a couple of big lefts. Covering up is Parker, giving up his back to do it. And now Jones really in great position. Parker in big trouble. There's an opening for him to hit some rights on that side of the face of Parker.
Ooh, nice single leg, but right to his back.
But right to his back now. And again, in prime position is King Jones.
You know, sometimes in wrestling, you want to turn positions into wrestling positions. You know, he kind of got to his knees right there. That's a wrestling position. Right here, he's got good position where he's getting that underhook. That's kind of what he should have did on the other side. Nice
big knee.
But this is good pressure on top by Christian.
Parker's really hurt. He's hurt now. This might be it. He's taking some big shots. Our referee, Nick Sim, might see enough here soon. King Jones wailing away at Michael Parker. And the face bleeding from the nose. He's a little high for a double leg. Still going to try it anyway. He doesn't have any leg in that double leg.
Now Michael Parker's doing the right thing. You know, he's getting that underhook. He's trying to pull him back up, you know, to relieve some of that pressure. But nice round there by Christian Jones.
Yeah, and Parker fought off the takedown there at the end. He's got some pain in the back of the neck and feeling that. And just an all-out assault from Christian Jones, looking like the king, in that opening round at 25 years of age. You can see the dynamite in his hands that his coach was talking about when we talked to he and Jay Watkins, saying how hard he hits. That left hook really stunned Parker early and set everything else up.
Yeah, but it all started with that left hand, like you said. He coming in, when you're I'm going to say this probably all night, is when you're coming in center line, is when your head's right center line and you're just in line for fire. So guys can just sit back and catch, and catch you on the way in.
What do you think they're saying to Parker? What would you be saying to Parker right here?
I said, hey, man, we got that first round out of the way. Let's forget about that first round. Hey, we got to win the next two. All right, so I want you to sit back. I want you to recover. I want you to get back to your game. You really can't think about what happened in that last round. I said, we just got to we got to get better in these next two. Win the next two is what I'd be telling him right now.
Parker went from 55 to 45. This fight.
Yeah, won a fight this year, like split decision in October.
145 getting us started here tonight. And Jones right in for the takedown, dumps Parker down to the mat, up against the cage. And again, Frankie, he has him in no man's land, right where he wants him. And he's right there next to his coaches, too, is Jones.
Yeah, a double leg right to a trip. Right there to the cage. And that's such a brutal spot to be, with him getting on top. With him on top of you, it's a different kind of pressure. But when you put him up against the cage and you get a little above him, you feel even heavier, using that cage.
How much does it help to have your coaches right there?
Oh, yeah, they can just guide you right through everything they want you to do, And both these guys being wrestlers, what I love about wrestlers is we're listeners, for the most part. So we've been used to being coached match after match after match, and we're used to listening to our coaches, because we don't listen to our coach, we go to the corner, we're getting yelled at. So you eventually end up becoming a good listener, or you're not a good wrestler.
Jones controlling from top, now has back control of
nice
Parker.
Knee to the body.
And a big right hand to follow. Oh, and a back fist.
And just coming with those heavy hands.
Very active is Jones, and they're right in front of us now.
This typical little wrestling ride, tight body waist, but he's just putting that pressure into him. Redrop to that double leg, right to the mat. Right when you get there, you got to get high ground.
We talked about these Indiana fighters grinding it out, bringing that lunch pail, rolling their sleeves up, blue collar all the way, trying to beat you up as well as beat you. Perfect illustration here from Christian King Jones, fighting in round number 2 against Michael Parker in the red for Illinois. Dominating performance so far for Jones, looking for another takedown, has that single leg on lock. Parker trying to get an armbar.
No, he pulled out a Kimura. He pulled out that Kimura. He's sticking with it all the way through. Right now he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the angle. He needs to be on the other side of Christian Jones. Right here, Christian Jones just sitting here, cradle him up. Pulling the arm out. Now he's back in that bad position, side mounted, cradled.
Great job on the ground from Christian Jones, still pounding away.
Ooh, nice right hands there landed. He's just putting pressure. You see his shoulder, his head, everything on top. Now he's just sitting up, posturing. Michael Parker has nowhere to go right here. Well, honestly, he needs to get his back on the fence and stand up. Get that back on the fence, get right back to your feet. This is a wrestling ride. These guys been wrestling. He's just going to grind him out. He's going to grind him out, stay right here unless Michael Parker wants to get up. You go inside that inner thigh. That's called a spiral ride. We're a wrestler. We're wrestlers here. He had a little bit of a combination of a spiral ride, and he came kind of over the head here.
Let's take a look at that replay. Brought to you by Fighter Skin. Be your brand with Fighter Skin.
I like the attempt by Michael Parker to hit that Kimura, but once you got to know when to bail sometimes. You hit that Kimura, you create a little bit of space. He got to his feet. Let it go. You accomplished what you wanted. You got to your feet. He was just looking for that home run with that Kimura. And a guy with position and posture like Christian Jones, you're not going to get that, in a solid fighter like him. With Michael Parker, hey, we need a big finish here. We need a knockout. We need a submission. I'm not sure what his go-to is, but that's what he needs to be going to right here. He has to find that in this third round.
Christian King Jones in the blue trunks has dominated Michael Parker in the red.
Nice takedown.
But Parker with a very quick shot Going for the takedown. Jones so strong though, Frankie. You can see that strength. And again, we're talking about this fight right here being at 45. And Parker's a very strong 45er who has fought a lot at 55, but Jones super strong as well, as Parker continuing to hold on and look for that takedown. He's got those hooks in behind the single leg, and stuffing it again is Jones. Referee separating them. Nick Sim.
I'm not sure what happened there. But two nice attempts by Michael Parker to get him to the ground. And I think one of the big things, for wrestlers to learn in this game is if you're a wrestler, if you take a guy down, is you got to learn how to keep him down. Christian just came right back up to his feet. Ooh, nice counter double leg.
Big takedown by Christian. Could hear the thud as he carried him across the cage and dumped him on his back. So strong is Jones.
And sometimes really never. It's not about the best wrestler. It's just about the timing of the takedown. Michael Parker just walked right into it. It was an easy takedown.
And Parker's an outstanding fighter, very quick and athletic. You can see the potential is there, but Jones with a dominating performance here. The 6-2 record going for win number 7. First fight here in the Elite Amateur Fight League for either fighter. Our opening matchup here tonight. Christian Jones and Michael Parker.
Jones has great pressure on top. He's searching for that far wrist. What you need to do on top is you need to get on top. Once you hook this far wrist right here, once you get control of this far wrist or this wrist that's on the ground right here, you can control the fighter. I like the knee inside. You're controlling his hips. Right now he's using all his hips. That's your core. Hip to hip. On the other side, wrist riding. There's nowhere for Michael Parker to go right now. He's going to try to get up this way. His wrist caught. He's going to try to get up the other way. His legs hooked.
Just trying to beat him up and get that dirty fighting in is Jones. Just nasty takedowns, ground and pound, hitting him throughout the fight.
Yep.
Trying to jack him up here and land some of those rights, and that's it. Nick Sim sees enough, and the finish by TKO for Christian King Jones.
Dude, I'm very impressed by King Jones right here. Look how big that kid is.
Beast
That's a big dude.
It's a big 45er.
He's a 45er. But that's perfect pressure. You know what I mean? That's the kind of way you want to finish fights.
This matchup between Christian King Jones and Michael Problem Solver Parker, two athletic fighters, dominated with the hands and on the ground by Christian King Jones, who ends up with the finish. Let's make it official in the cage and send it up to Miguel Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes and 19 seconds into round number 3. For your winner by referee stoppage due to strikes, representing Indiana Immortals, Christian King Jones.
So Christian King Jones comes away with the victory and the early lead for Indiana, scoring the maximum amount of points with that finish.
We'll be back with Fight 2 after the break.